Yeah, I
We're
just
talking
got
hard
one,
drive.
literally.
Welcome to it.
4 terabyte. It's the
I got
backup to the backup.
Whoa.
Welcome to it,
I have
Jay.
that one as 1 terabyte. I got that orange. Here's a
Guys,
cable
we're
to
live.
prove it.
I think we're live right now. Oh, look at that. But you just got the cable, Jay? You don't even have the hard drive?
Yeah, I started buying cables lately. It's a new vibe I have. Here's some
All right.
HDMI cables. Yeah, just some things I'm doing lately. But anyways.
This is too crazy.
All right. Well, welcome
Okay.
to it, guys. Jay, you wanna
This is psycho.
you wanna start
Yeah.
us off?
Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Sorry for a bit of the technical difficulties, but we're going to do our best. This was our first time, so be patient with us as we figure this all out, please. And we're going to be looking at live comments through YouTube. So if you can check out, if you can focus on that for any of your comments, if you want to do anything live, we'll be able to respond there. And then we're as well going to look at the Instagram comments you guys have given us, as well as the Twitter comments. So we'll do our best to kind of balance them all so it feels like it's just the multi-dimensional social media experience that we're all here for. So there's my intro.
That was a great intro, Jay.
Thank you.
Also, shout out
Thank you,
to
Jay.
our manager who has
Yeah, it was
restarted his computer in order to save this whole event. Shout out
I think he bought,
Daniel
yeah,
Rubin.
yeah.
That guy's great.
He had to be
All right.
resurrected.
He did. Cool. So let's start. Question number 1. This question is from Instagram by Cynthiask. And the question is, who let Josh do that his hair? So I think, Brett, you should take this one away.
I have no idea. I have no idea where the hero behind the hair. I don't know. I don't know who's the
Hero behind the hair. Who let Josh do that? I'll answer it then. I've enjoyed the process of doing a different hairstyle for every single thing that we do, and I didn't plan it that way, but it's happening that way. So now it really is a plan. So watch out. It'll get crazy. Question number 2. Brett, you go.
All right. This one comes in piping hot from Claire Peterson 12. She asks, what was your inspiration for / while writing Creature? I think that Creature was a really interesting process for us because it was like the first song the three of us started working on, and it was the last one that we finished, I think. I don't know if Pure Gold was after that. But I guess it was one of the last ones we finished, one of the first ones we started. But it started with Josh had brought in that verse and intro of Creature and the look inside of me and see I am not afraid to walk inside the void like a kid inside a cave. And we were kind of just, it took us so long to kind of unpack that metaphor and what we were trying to say and what what a chorus would look like and what the meaning of the song is. And we made a lot of advancements just when we started, but ultimately just had to put a pause because we weren't, it felt like it wasn't connecting, and continue to write more songs. And I thought it was really interesting because after we finished writing, most of the album, if not all the album, we then it felt like we kind of had the dynamic to finish that song. And I feel like it came out, I don't know, with the depth of the three of us kind of building into our chops as like writers together. And I like inspired, I think we were all brought different inspirations, but like one thing I remember is, I think I was reading a poem and the author said that I am the sky, and I liked that metaphor. Rather than being like I am like the sky, or I just thought that was so direct. And I was like, what if the chorus was something like "I am creation." Just I thought that was a fun jumping off point. So that's kind of a little bit. Don't want to take up the entire time. That's kind of a little bit of a glimpse into the writing of Creature, which was to me a really special process because I think it was just fun to grow individually and also collectively during the process of that album.
Well said.
Well said.
Well said.
Yeah, we could. I'll just. I feel like that was great. Let's, I guess, keep going. I think we could probably say so much about that song, about any song. So we're gonna, I guess, do our best to not spend too much time on the songwriting process, though we're very passionate about it. Another fun one, just also off of Instagram, was from Half Alive fans. That's easy to read. Has being stuck inside helped or harmed your inspiration for music? I think it's gone full circle for me. I'm sure this would be different for all of us here, but I think it started out being inspiring and then slowly stopped, and then I hit a wall, and then I think I'm now rediscovering this as a new normal, though it is shifting again. But I think that has kind of allowed a lot of space to reflect and think about music and to think about writing. So I think ultimately it's been very helpful, and I'm very appreciative of the time for like forced reflection. I was thinking like we were supposed to be in London around this time. We were supposed to be doing shows and all this stuff. And I'm like, that would have been crazy. Like we always did the crazy, and it's like so overwhelming always. And the joy of being home right now and getting to like think and like work on new music and it all without having to be in a different country at the same time is so awesome. I don't think we'll always get that experience. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm finding a lot of positives for the music creation on my side right now.
Plus you can let those luscious locks grow out, Jay.
Yeah,
I know. Growing them out.
Fun story. I went to Jay's house because at one point my internet was so bad here at my house that I had to go to Jay's house in order to upload the documentary file, which was like 80 gigabytes. It was a massive file. And I'm so used to seeing Jay through FaceTimes that it was so weird. So weird. I was just like, your hair is like so long right now. And then you're just like, how's it going, man? I'm like, stop. You're not in a screen right now.
It was
it was very strange. And now we're back to screens right now. Next question comes from Twitter. The famous India Johnson 13. What was the biggest challenge of collaborating with other artists and most rewarding? Here's a fun story. So when we worked with Sam Henshaw on Rest, we loved working with him. He's an incredible person. And we were all a fan of his music before reaching out to him. And so we thought he'd be a good one for the song. And we finally get on a phone call to talk about the song that we sent to him. And and he was just coming off like a recording session of his own. Like he was working on his something. Won't say what. And he seemed a little spacey, but like still willing to like talk with us. And like our point to the phone call was just to kind of check in with each other and see if we're vibing in a way. And I asked him, I was like, I just wondering what you're getting from the song lyrically, like what's the meaning of the song? And he's like, all right, man. So, I was thinking that I love like the dynamics of like being a love story and being so romantic and like, the connection between people, but it maybe it's not just romantic. Maybe it's like between friends and, but like the overarching story of love. And I was like, whoa. And he's like, well, what does it mean to you? And I was like, well, it's kind of a song about like resting and Sabbath. He's like, for sure, man, for sure. And then later we played with him at a show in London. And I brought that moment up to him. And I was like, remember on the phone when you said, when you like went into this whole backstory about how Rest was like a love song and goes, I'm gonna level with you right now. At that moment in time, I had not really heard the song. I had spent very little time with it, but I knew you guys were cool, and I was willing for it. And that was those moments are always fun. A bit of surprise, yeah. But it's just hard to like connect with people. Like when we worked with Kimber, she was in New York. When we worked with Sam Henshaw, he was in London. It's just difficult to work with people who aren't in the same space, and so a lot of it's just like sending files back and forth and getting the right thing. And then I'll do her part 2 to this question. What was the process for choosing the visuals and other subtextual elements for Fluorescence? You guys want to speak to that one?
Well, so like what was the influence for the visuals, right? Is what you asked, what you just read.
Yes, I read.
Yeah, well, I think there's like obvious ones where like the floor was kind of like in thinking of the still feel floor, or the ceiling of the still feel lights, where like I think Mimi, the director, someone involved was like, what if we put it on the floor? And we're like, we love it. You know, it was a lot of like this whole project was creatively developed in a time when we were trying to take a Sabbath in a lot of ways. So it was a unique project for us in that sense, where we were able to kind of take some reins, pulled back because we're very involved with so many things, and then come back in on like, not necessarily the tail end, but a lot of it was we were able to bring other partners in to kind of develop a lot of the structure of how it was going to look in a lot of ways. So I think that was a really fun way of doing it in a really iconic space and try to make it look different. That not necessarily what I thought or like actual work to do, but it was something that would just look really cool, and we're like, we love this. So that was one thing that I remember. Obviously, all the lighting is just something that we like, colors and focusing on each video with a different color, or partial parts of each video. So that's what I remember off the top of my head for at least Runaway. I think we saw the floor a lot in Runaway, but yeah, if you guys have any thoughts.
That's good.
Something fun to add to that is in Runaway, we had initially the idea to do stuff with projector lighting, and we like brought the projectors and had this entire thing planned, cut it like within half hour of filming the piece. We're like, too much, don't do that. Instead, we're going to throw Donated in to do impromptu dancing choreography, and they crushed it. So but all of the visuals and everything was like written with all of us, with the 3 of us plus Jordan and Aiden of Jaw Collective plus Mimi, the director, and we just all worked together in planning the whole thing.
There was so many aspects of that video too where we were like, is this gonna work the day of, like, I think we got it in the documentary, but Jordan was saying like, are we even gonna be able to use Madeline and Abby for the painting moment at the end of the feature throughout the whole thing? Because there's so many things, like, we came up with the idea of it all with Mimi, and then we were like, a lot of this is gonna work? Which was the stress of the whole documentary. It was everything was just running way too late, so all the ideas were potentially gonna not happen at all to a degree. So but most music videos we kind of experience that, I guess.
All right, Brett, you're up.
Let's see. Oh man, this one's coming in piping hot from too quickly. Half Alive Brazil on Twitter asks, Brett, do you know the marimba? And to answer that question, I do know how to play the marimba, and I I spent 2 years in college playing the marimba, and I have full videos on my old computer of performances that I had to do for juries. We had to like play in front of our teachers, and I would do it, and I loved it. It was great. It was great, but it was really fun. I actually Nick Mancini, who played marimba, he was actually one of the He was actually one of the professors at the school I went to, and so it was cool seeing him and on the set. Yeah, so it was in Fluorescence Day was kind of full circle for me, but the videos were destroyed with my old computer.
Did you destroy your old computer?
So my computer crashed, and I said this would be an excellent time to get I have this problem where like, if I take the easy route for a situation to go away sometimes, and so I was stressed that my computer hard drive didn't work anymore. I was like, well, I have most of it backed up. I could probably just deposit this computer and forget all the other things on it and just get a new computer. That's what I did, and I kind of feel like I shouldn't have done that, but I think it's good. I have all the stuff I needed, but the marimba videos are gone. There might be one from a long time ago on my parents, but I don't know. For our purposes, we'll say it's gone.
Well, thankfully we have them in the waiting room right now. Bringing
Invite
in Mr. and Mrs. Kramer. Jay, my boy, you are up.
Have we was the what you just have we done a YouTube live comment, like live on the YouTubes? Can I jump on that?
Let's do it.
Jump it.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Some of them are coming in pretty fast though, Jay. Just be careful.
Yeah, I got my.
And they're hot. They're piping hot too.
They're piping hot.
Yeah, they're piping hot. They're super fast. So just be careful.
All of them are now about the marimba, which does make sense based off of what just happened. Let's see. Okay, I guess maybe I have an answer to this, so I'll just kind of go for it. Mercedes Frederick, question: how would you guys recommend going about starting a band? I'm trying to start making music, and I don't know where we begin. I think probably the most ideal way, because a band in so many ways is kind of like a small, I mean, I guess it could be any size, like family. So it's really important to get along with the people. I've been in a few bands where the relationships were tough to do, like be with each other and be creative, and that's such a vulnerable place. So I think working with people that inspire you as well as you get along with is a really important thing to do. So I would maybe say, like, if you have friends that play music, that's probably a good place to start, versus like finding the best person you know of. If you don't get along with them, that might be pretty difficult, though maybe inspiring and maybe good to like jam with them. But I don't know if you want to like build your entire musical experience with somebody you don't get along with. So I would start there. There's a lot to that question, I think, but I think relationships are a really important part that Brett and Josh and I really spend a lot of time kind of figuring out how we can best observe boundaries as well as creative practices for all of us that make sure we all feel good and heard and seen. So that's important to us, and it seems like it's working out. So I recommend that.
Rad.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Smoking LaCroix on camera.
Okay, I am going to go to Instagram for this one, and I think I can include two in this. The first is from Travioli04. I don't know if that means 2004.
Or the fourth.
Say. Yeah, maybe they're the fourth Travioli. That'd be interesting in their family.
Fourth of his name.
So we have, what do you do when creativity doesn't come easily? Like, what's your process when you hit a creative block? And I can answer that one by answering a more specific question from Obeek 2005. Maybe they're the 2005th person with that name. what's the biggest challenge of making the documentary? So that, to me, I think of a moment in like chapter 3 of the documentary, near the end, when I spent probably a full day like not knowing what to do for this one, for like, I just couldn't get the clips to make the story work. And it was really challenging, and I was getting really discouraged by it. And I mean, this is just a personal answer for this, but what I did was keep going and take breaks when I needed to. So I would just keep like trying everything I could and matching different clips together. And honestly, it didn't work at all. But I persevered through it, and I took breaks and set goals of like, all right, if I can keep going by this time, then I can like, I don't know, have a treat or something. But the thing that ultimately worked was like an X factor thing. So this reminds me of like when creative blocks come, sometimes musically. What I have started to do, and I think I got this idea from you, Brett, or maybe it's from Adam, but having a jar with like out of the box problem solving solutions that like I just started to write down like little things on paper that like says electricity or water or sleigh bells or whatever it is. And so it's like, I have no idea how to solve this problem. Let's go to the magic jar. And then
But you have to do it.
And you have to do it. That's the thing. Yeah.
Or else it loses its magic.
That's correct. Yeah. So I think that's a really important question though, because I think anyone who creates things ultimately comes to some sort of wall, and it's how to get past that wall. I think this might be a good one for Jordan and Aiden to answer within their role as well with choreography.
Sure.
You guys agree? Okay, bringing in Jordan and Aiden in 10. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I hope. Yeah.
Oh, hey. Nice. Jordan's out here.
I've come.
Friggin' Joe.
What's up, guys?
Joe's out here.
Here I am. Here I am on behalf
Hey.
of. Oh, the name's here.
Oh, what
nice
the heck?
angle, Aiden.
Dude, I was doing dishes. I didn't know I could pop in.
Oh, that's good.
love that. Well, Aiden, the question that it's kind of like, how do you approach like creative blocks or stumps? So Josh suggested bringing you and Jordan in to share some of your guys' approaches for that.
Cool. Yeah, I could go first.
Yeah. Go for it.
Recently, what I've been doing is I think with my art now, I lay a really strong foundation on the idea of like resurrection, where I can like let things die and come back to life. So what I started to do is like, if I get stuck on an idea or I really just don't like an idea, I don't get like, oh, I need to solve it right now. What I've been doing is just like wiping that slate clean, like not being afraid to throw everything out the window and just starting brand new with a brand new idea. So recently that's what I've been doing. So like if something's just not working, I'm not feeling it, I'm like, okay, throw it completely out the window, start brand new, just keep on like resurrecting things. And I do that as many times as I want until I get an idea that I can continue with. And then it just keeps going. And then I'm like, okay, this is the one. Just not being afraid to like throw things out, even if it's like not getting attached to any idea too much. That's what I've been doing.
That's cool. Great.
That's good. Yeah, I feel like another thing that we've done that's different than that, as Jaw Collective, is take ideas and like, don't feel the pressure to need to love them right away too. So like, I think sometimes just going through things and being like, maybe I'll like this tomorrow if I don't like it today. I feel like when Aiden and I choreograph together, we do a lot of going back different days and just seeing if we didn't like something that day, maybe we'll like it. If we did like something when we made it, maybe we won't like it later. And so, yeah, I think in line with what Aiden's saying, but a little different. Like another thing that we do is just take a lot of iterations of pieces and just kind of always going back and going forward and going back. But I think in mine and Aiden's case, we don't get that stuck hardly ever when we're creating together because we pull from different places, and usually when one of us is stuck, the other one isn't stuck. So that's also helpful.
The beauty of
Yeah.
collaboration.
It's like also for some reason the ideas we're the most unsure about always turn out to be the best ones when we actually perform them. So I think that's a good place to feel. Like if you're feeling super confident about something, when you perform it, sometimes it's like, oh, that didn't work at all. For some reason, it's always those in-between ideas that when we perform, we're like, wow, somehow everyone liked that when we had no idea it was good. It's a fun place to be.
It's good. Well said. All right, get them out of here.
Thanks, Jordan, Aiden. Until next time.
I think, and then just to finish that question, I think like for me, when I feel like I'm hitting a wall, there's kind of two things I like to try. And one is like I try to detach from the feeling of it being like, okay, let's say I'm working on a song that's not as good as I wish it were to be. I kind of detach from the feeling of like, doesn't mean that this song might be bad, but it doesn't mean that I am bad. And I still try to like push through and just like, all right, I don't have to show anybody. I don't have to do anything with this, but let's just try to finish it. And I've noticed that sometimes the songs that I've written that I've really loved have actually been puzzle pieces from songs that I didn't like in some sort of way. So like, even if I write a totally bad song, it's usually not like everything is just terrible. There's usually something that's pretty good, just couldn't quite arrange it in a way that was strong. And I found myself still doing those things or two even down the road. And then the second thing I do is like, if I'm hitting a wall and it just is like, I can't do anything, I really do try to like really pay attention to what's a song that I'm really inspired by. All right, let's really nitpick like exactly what they're doing. And let's try to see if something can apply here. And the cool thing about that I've noticed is two things happen. One, I engage with my favorite songs even deeper than I was if I was just listening. And then the second thing is that I usually find something that I write and it doesn't even sound like the inspiration at the end of the day at all. So those are two things I do.
That's good. That's really good.
Who's up next?
Jay, you want to take one?
Sure. I'm looking at Twitter right now to see if there's any comments that I wanted to respond to. Yeah, I like this one. Fantastan. What are your most memorable experiences from any shows you have done? I'll shoot for, I guess, sharing one memorable experience versus too many of them. I think there is I think some of the most memorable experiences usually come from getting to meet fans before or after the show and getting to hear their experience with the songs or the music or something that encouraged them or influenced them. I remember one time it was in Houston right before we got caught in a flood. If you work with Half Alive, you get stuck in natural disasters. That seems to be our vibe so far. So that was our second one. And yeah, it was right after that show. We met with we were meeting people after the show, And there was a woman that came up with her daughter, and I don't think they spoke English super well, but they were just sharing how the music had been helping them, or helping the daughter with like depression, as well as like she wasn't sleeping well, and she's having a lot of just different experiences that were definitely bad experiences that connecting on the music really helped her through that, which those types of moments are really powerful for me. And I think it keeps me going when we're writing songs, when we're working on new songs, lyrically, musically, whoever we're working with, it's kind of thinking of those people. So whoever we've kind of met, I like to keep those people in mind. It helps put a face to the songs, and we're often writing songs about our experiences to people to try to encourage and bring a different perspective to things. I think that's a lot of what Half-Life, our core beliefs are. So that's really helpful, and those are really powerful moments. So I love to get to hear how everybody's experiences. In person's usually the most ideal, because there's a connection in person that's hard to imitate anywhere else. But even online is also great when we have to. So that's one specific one, but that was a moment that has still stuck with me.
A moment that stuck with me. I mean, London was so special to me, I think. I think London was, I don't know what it was, but it was just like, I mean, yeah, everything that Jay said, just like meeting the fans after the show and like really engaging, but just kind of like being able to perform like with Sam. And like, I just remember when he like stepped out on stage, I just remember getting chills just to see something go from like a dream in the cabin, like, cause we were all listening to Sam when we were writing, like, oh, what if we got him on the song? Like, he would be so sick. And then going from him actually being on the song to him being there. And then also just like I felt like just the engagement with the fans at that show is just like the energy, I feel like, was something that was really special to me. And I feel like the venue was so gorgeous. And yeah, I think London was, at least for me, like a special moment. And the privilege to have Sam on as well was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got a moment. Relevant too, because of Fluorescence. It was when so for the Fluorescence project, Miguel was working like crazy on all the audio stuff, and Mimi was working like crazy on all the video stuff. And they were both like hadn't met each other until the day of. And then when they finally met, it was this magical moment of these two forces coming together, and they're being so different. Miguel is like, he's a giant. Yeah. I don't know how tall he is, but he's like 8 feet, 9 feet. I don't know. And Mimi is so little.
At least.
At least.
At least 9 feet.
And it was like really special and powerful to like have them meet, and then for like to interview them for the documentary, like right after everything happened, and they were both just like completely spent. I don't know when the last time Miguel got a good night's sleep was.
Yeah.
Mimi was just so stressed about the whole team and everything, and to like put them side by side and have them interact with like how, like, what surprises were there, and what like just audio and video, and how they combine as two really powerful forces for telling narratives. And that was special.
That was a cool moment.
That was a cool moment. Here's a question. In the documentary, Jay Tyler said that Brett had studied Afro-Cuban music. I was just curious about this, and any other music styles you guys have studied, are familiar with, or influenced by. That is by Mai 101. So Brett, a degree in Afro-Cuban, you say?
Yeah, I mean,
Brett doesn't like to talk about
I guess
this.
I'll. I guess, yeah, I guess this is me friggin' telling my bros even about this. I don't know if they know about it, but I played timbales in a salsa band for a
What?
year. And I'm being serious, man. And it was like,
through school
was-
or through like
yeah, no,
This is just for fun?
recreation?
a good friend of mine was from Peru, and he brought like and he was already playing salsa gigs around the area, and then he just decided to start his own band, and so he made like everybody, all of his friends, but everybody was kind of like me and didn't really ever listen to that music before, so it was like a learning curve. It was a really epic learning curve, and I'm not joking about this. Like, it was almost kind of funny because we would play shows at like really authentic, like salsa restaurants and salsa performance places, and we were all white, and they'd call us like the El Blanco Orchestra. And I'm not being serious. But honestly, like, but jokes aside, like that experience, like I'm really, really grateful for it. And I feel like I don't know, that music is so, especially from the rhythm aspect, like that music is so deep, and those rhythms are, it was just like, it was really cool to be able to like be in that world for a bit. And yeah, so that's my background, I guess. There's video on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
There is, but
Prove
I won't. I'm not going to prove it. I'm going to leave it up to anybody who wants to find that.
Well, Brad, I'm so glad that you were able to open up about that.
That's the first. I haven't told my bros that. That's a fact. It's true. I'll send you guys the video.
All right. All right. All right.
Jay,
I'm looking at some of these Instagram questions.
I'll jump off on one really quick. I know I've been talking a lot, but I'll just do this one super fast.
Go for it.
I lost it.
Nice.
Dang it.
Okay.
Okay. You got it, Jay?
Okay. I do have one, but if you want to keep going.
You go.
Okay. What was your favorite song to play live by Faked Migraine off Instagrams? I'm going to focus on Fluorescence. I think it was the only time we played it live was the only time we recorded it. So it was a one-time experience. And I think through that experience, honestly, Breakfast was super fun to play live. I remember the first time we played it was like we played it 3 times, then recorded it, and that's what's on the record. And the first time we're reading music, and we're reading this for just about the first time. Like we had moments to learn the parts, but not to play them with everybody. So it's a different experience once you're playing with people versus just practicing it. And I think we're the only ones that even really got to look at the music before the day of. So I just remember the ending part. There's a marimba solo. We all spoke about the marimba solo. It was great, but we didn't know when to stop. So it just was such a long marimba solo. And then we just kept going. Brett was going.
Honestly,
I was going. We're like,
so
when
long.
do we
It was
stop?
just you
We're
three
like,
too, kind of.
Yeah, it was just a rhythm section, and we were all a little too nervous to just like choose when to stop. So we just kept going.
I was having a good time.
And
it
Miguel
was
doing
fun.
this.
We were just in it, and then Miguel was like, I don't know. It felt like the 30 seconds of going for it that he just put his hand up and just kind of like had us stop. Here's the hand, yeah. And that was
I
funny.
couldn't really see him.
Yeah. It was great. It was a funny moment. That whole song's really fun to play because it really goes into different places. I'm playing like upright and bowing, then upright, then I switched to electric bass. So I know we didn't film it just because we didn't have time to film it, but that was like a fun one that took legs to its own with Miguel's arrangement. Yeah,
I'm gonna
so that
pop
was
off.
really fun to play live.
Yeah, I thought he was
right.
like saying, I thought he was into it with the wave, but he was actually trying to stop everything. I thought he was like, oh man, he's in it, man. I must be crushing it. And then later they're like, you needed to stop.
I remember getting Miguel sent through these like MIDI arrangements for some of the tracks, and they were kind of terrifying to listen to at some points, but also gave somewhat of a like where things were going to be heading. Like this was like a week before we rehearsed, and the one for Runaway came in, and I was like, this is going to be so good. And I remember rehearsing it the night before in my room here, and I was just like jumping up and down and dancing like right when it gets to the chorus and it switched to the Afro-Cuban. It's like, that just gets me every time. It's so fun. And how it's slower. It's way slower, which really switches like how it's sung.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be done really fast. And now I listen to the original recording and I'm like, this is so fast. Feels like someone's like hitting fast forward on it. It's that's all.
It'll be interesting to play these songs live again, in like the Now Not Yet versions.
Yeah.
Just because still feels pretty similar, but everything else really took different. We went different ways with it. So, yeah. All right. That's fun. We're having a fun time.
I'll do a
Should
quick
we do, like,
one.
Three more?
Sorry. Sure, 3.5. I got a half one.
Okay, 3.5 more.
This one is it's almost too hot. It's coming in from a Half-Life Rock Drop on Twitter. It says, Brett, what's it like being the only non-vegan? I'll tackle this really quickly. Some of the best meals I've ever had were at vegan cuisines we found all over the world. And I don't consider myself vegan, but I also don't consider myself a very heavy meat eater, so I'm always down. But I will say I have developed the skill of when to get out of there. Like I feel like I've gotten good at I can look at a menu and be like, we gotta go, or I gotta go find something else, which is rare, but I've definitely it's a good skill, I think, when you're in the wild.
To tag on that, someone said any vegan cheese recommendations. Honestly, help. I can't find a good one. And it's from, it just says breakfast. Maybe their name is Breakfast.
Crushed it.
Jay, I feel like you're the vegan cheese is better than.
Yeah, the vegan king.
I do like vegan cheese. I didn't like normal cheese though, so I also have an interesting perspective of it. I've never liked butter or cheese, so I don't get why people liked it. But anyways, Miyoko's vegan cheese, shout out Miyoko's, is awesome. So good.
Agreed.
You can get that at Sprouts or Whole Foods or maybe other places, but that's where I'd recommend getting them. Also, if you guys are in LA, there's a small business owned by this Parisian man, this dude from Paris. He owns this place called Fromage. Fromage is so good. It's like, I don't know. It's like vegan cheese, right? Fromage means cheese in French, but fromage, a vegan cheese, it's incredible. It's all, I actually don't know how he makes it, but I think it's a lot of nut based. It's so good. He makes sandwiches. So if you're ever in LA and Hollywood, go there, check it out, blow your mind. Let me know how it was. It's great.
Who do they want to talk to there?
You want to talk to there's a singular man there that I don't know his name, but there's only one person that works there actually.
It's legit.
Talk to him.
It's great. Talk to him. He's the only person that works there, but he's awesome.
Shout out to Follow Your Heart brand as well. I like that brand for cheeses. I also will say that I'm finding more and more through the years I become less vegan. I don't think I would consider myself vegan anymore, but I do try to eat plant-based. That's all I'll say about that.
We got different shades of vegans.
We do. All the different shades.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, here's one. How was it to work with such a large team? How did working with an orchestra enhance each song? That's by Josh Shumsky 3. I'll say from my end, it was really cool to just sing. and not have to worry about like going to like hit the next choreography in the song or worry about hitting the right note on the guitar or whatever it is. Like, it was a nice breath just to have everyone is so good at their instruments that I can just like hang out and just sing. And I felt like I was the least qualified out of everybody there because everyone has been doing it for so long and is very, very talented. And all of the vocalists especially are way better than I am. Yeah, they're all incredible. They're just powerful singers, and it was strange to have them be only background vocalists when they lead the masses all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. I think it was like there's a lot of people. I think that it was kind of like everybody kind of did their thing. So like I felt like the film crew had their space they were occupying and things they were worried about and also like crushing. And it's the same with Miguel and the orchestra, and then us as the band also were kind of in our zone. So it felt like it didn't really ever feel like claustrophobic ever. It was just kind of like everybody just had their task and was kind of in their lane and crushing it, which is cool to be a part of for the day.
Two more. Jay, you want to grab one from YouTube?
Yeah, I'm looking at the YouTube, trying to figure it out. Oh, can you guys touch on your creative process? I think this is a good question. We could I kind of like the idea of bringing Aiden back on just to see what position he's going to be in the next. But the question is from Carson Hayes. Question, can you guys touch on your creative process when coming up for the visuals for your video? How do you come up with the choreography, colors, and such? Hey, that's great.
Oh man.
Yeah, if Sir Daniel, if you want to bring Jordan on, you can kick me off too. Just would love for you guys to talk a little bit about how you come up with the choreography for something. Is Jordan ready? Did you hear the question?
Is it how you come up with the choreography, like persons or no?
Yeah, I would say how you came up with the choreography for in Fluorescence or maybe like some of the other videos as well, or the live show. Go for it.
Yeah, Jordan, you can kick this off.
Yeah, my thing's so blurry though. I'm like, it's like I'm filming through like a razor phone. Okay. Yeah, I think that our creation process is, as a group, as the collaboration of Half Alive and Jaw Collective, is very much that. It's super collaborative. So Aiden and I spend all of our time when we're creating for Half Alive. We create everything together, and then as soon as possible, we get Josh in there as well, movement-wise. And yeah, I think in the live shows and whatnot, things really come together in like the last week when we can all actually be together and practice together, like the last week before we go out. And so I think that for in Fluorescence, though we didn't have a lot of time to practice ahead of time, it all came together once we were all in the creative space together. So even though a lot more of it was improvised, it was still just like, yeah, once the cameras are there and people are there and the energy's flowing, we all just kind of combine thoughts and go. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Inflorescence was interesting because we only had the space for one day and we didn't really know what the space would look like or even if we'd have room to dance or like where we would even be. So yeah, I think Jordan and I have gotten really good at improvising, and we have a lot of set moves that we already know that can kind of go anywhere. So we sort of throw those in. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was just a good time. It was a fun day.
So, when you guys are creating choreography, I think it's interesting because us as musicians have like licks. It sounds like you and Jordan would maybe say in a way that you guys have like these phrases or licks, if you want to use that kind of phrase, that you can come back to. That was a lot of like practiced time spent to be able to do something like in Fluorescence in the moment where you can kind of create something in the aesthetic you want because you've spent countless hours kind of creating that aesthetic prior. Would that be something that would be agreed upon? Young Jordan and Aiden.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. It's very well said.
Like for Pure Gold, for instance, Jordan, you just posted that on your Instagram, so it makes me come to, like that video was a lot of your guys' aesthetic in a lot of ways. How was that a process involved for you guys building that?
Yeah, I think like, I don't know, like anything artistic, if you're just working on your own craft daily, then there becomes a lot of just like a big, in the context of dance, a big movement base to pull from. And so I think, yeah, be it Pure Gold or Runaway or kind of any of the music videos or any of the live shows, I think that there's kind of a constant conversation going on between me working alone on my own, Aiden working alone on his own, our collaborations, and then your guys' music. It's like a constant conversation that feels like it's happening. So yeah, I think neither Aiden nor I like name our moves or define them in the way that one would define like a C chord or a C major 9 or all those different things, but they just kind of live in the body and you can pull them out when it need be.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's give it up for Jordan and Aiden. Aiden, you wanna talk about the flautist? I had a question. There's a question for Aiden specifically. I'm just getting in my earpiece. The question is from Ernest Ojoza. Is Aiden gonna be a professional flautist someday? Whoa! And we got the new do.
I think first I want to talk about. Whoa. Well, I think first I want to talk about what I'm doing right now in this moment. So I bought these smoke pellets, which are supposed to create 30 cubic feet of smoke. I'm trying to light them on fire and it's not working. So that is the mental state I'm in. So now I'll answer the question from that place. So I would say no. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I am fascinated with the word, not fascinated with anything else besides the word. I like to define the word. I enjoy the word, but to be the word is not something I'm down for.
To be
well,
the
everybody,
word,
you heard it here first.
Wow.
And also, I'm sorry, I'm taking over. I've shaved my head, and there's a few reasons. I shaved my head, you guys. It's gonna grow back. It's fine. I don't really like it either. So let's all grow up, accept that it's here, but it'll be back. That's what hair does. All right.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. Aiden Carberry, everybody, give it up.
Okay. Well, we're kind of wrapping up here, I think. Maybe like, what do you guys think? Like one question more?
I'd be down to land the plane with one more question, unless you guys have a you face. Somebody
it's a little
or
it's a
general
little song Jay's been working on.
Actually, I got a tune for you. Actually,
it goes a little something like this.
All right. So this was a general question that we kind of picked up from multiple people and made it into one. What's been hardest about quarantine / ease? What's been hard / east about quarantine? What the chart reads, but I think it means easiest or easy about quarantine. I think for me at least, quarantine I feel like has been like a it's been like a microscope on a lot of things that you kind of don't really realize until you're kind of forced to sit with certain things. And I think that in some ways it's brought more to my attention some things that I feel like I'm really thankful for and have been able to spend time with and sit with, and other things I feel like it's shown things that I think maybe I could do or be more patient in. And so I feel like throughout this process, I think it's just kind of like highlighted a lot of things and gives me a lot of time to think and kind of focus and try to direct my attention to things that are actually important. I feel like everybody's processing it differently too. Like for me, I felt like it was hard at first, as each day felt like it was like more intense, and then it kind of mellowed out. And now I feel like I have a good peace and rhythm about it, which I'm excited for. But I know other people might be opposite, or I've heard some friends saying that, it was like easy at first and then difficult later. But yeah, so for me, I feel like I've landed in a rhythm that I've been able to find peace and joy in, which has been really great.
Well said. Quarantine for me has been challenging, but rewarding in surprising ways. I think there's been, I'm sure with a lot of people, like a lot more time to like get physical exercise. I've been taking lots of runs, working out a lot more. And that definitely helps the mental health a lot. But it's been tough not to, especially with like the trails being closed and stuff, and the beach being closed, to not be able to go outside in those ways. And also it's been kind of just tough to be like here in my room for so much of the day and just on my computer, and like the screen time just really gets to me. So enjoying the forced time of presence that it gives, because there's incredible moments to like be in stillness and solitude and with the Lord and with people and with my family, and like sitting down for dinner, lots of nights, but also really hard moments. So just like anything in life, I think it's just a balance of the tension. Jay, my boy?
I think I may have answered the question at the beginning of the video live. Trying to think if I have other things to say to it. I think, I think another perspective that I hadn't already spoken about that I found really great is there's a lot of room for like collaboration in a different way now via videos. That's been really special. Doing a lot of Zoom calls, of course, and just working on various fun like musical ideas and things like that. But with how free everybody is in a lot of ways, it's been really special to reach out to people that maybe would have been too busy or just would have been tough. So I can find myself I'm decent at inspiring myself and not needing too much surrounding things to spur creativity for me. So be able to kind of use that to work on new video ideas or new songs and things like that has been something that I don't think I would have been able to do if it wasn't, if we were more busy because of other things that were going on that now are paused. So that's great. That's really great. And it gives me a way to connect with people in a way that I really like, which is creative and various forms of that. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think one fun thing just to finish up with, I think, too, is we are planning on going on tour again in this lifetime. So I know people are asking about that and when are we playing shows. So trying to do like general things. We don't know when we're going to be playing the next show. We want to. We're excited to see you guys when we can. Everybody's kind of in this together, but we will definitely keep you guys. We'll let you guys know when we can start doing shows again, because we're excited about that and seeing you in person. So thank you for connecting to us via the interwebs. That kind of is the way to do it right now. So please keep reaching out and connecting and doing the fun videos and memes and other things you guys do. And we're working on stuff. So excited to share stuff when stuff is ready to be shared for sure.
Stuff.
And yeah. Any other wrapping up thoughts you guys have?
I thought that was pretty much wrapped.
Oh, that's great. I think now all we have to do is just play us out.
Yeah, let's take it out.
We're all going to play a song now.
What was the song you
Daniel's
really
gonna
have?
Yeah, this
Daniel's
is the
going to
old
put
Tim
in
McGrammy.
Jordan in if he wants.
Oh, wow. Am I supposed to sing?
We're waiting anytime, Maiden.
All right, I'll sing us out, dude. I said, the sun doesn't
Thanks for joining, everybody.
rise when I got sore thighs. The blues I am in tight jeans. All right.
That was great.
Give it up
Thanks,
for the
everyone.
carburetor here. You heard it here first.
No, why? Oh my goodness.
All right, I'm going to sign off. So I'm out of here.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye,
Bye.
Ray.
I'm gone too.
Bye.